If you know anything about my YouTube channel, Vintage Toy Freedom, you know I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. I have many G.I. Joe figures that I own, and it's kind of how this whole thing got started. I found a G.I. Joe Big Bear, sorry. Big Bear figure. That was, I think I had a UPC cutout, got it for cheap, decided to open it. That's where I got my start. Anyway, I got some G.I. Joe figures here. They're a little bit different. These are the G.I. Joe Extreme. I opened the guy who shoots water. He was kind of weird. So I got him at a toy show. And then I got this, actually a lot of, oh man, I got a few in my closet somewhere. I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, maybe, I don't know, something like 6 of these. For a really good price. Couldn't pass it up. Decided to open that water squirter guy. His name's Hydro or something like that. Just because I bought it for YouTube. And these guys are actually pretty cool. We got Iron Claw. He has a battle-activated assault rocket. You see him. He pops up a little bit more. Here we have Sergeant Savage with power launch catapult. And again, if you are familiar with Vintage Toy Freedom, you know that I dig the Sergeant Savage line, which is not this. But they brought him into the G.I. Joe Extreme line, which I think is pretty cool. He's looking pretty epic there. This is 1995, so year after the kind of a Real American Hero G.I. Joe line ended. Kenner at this point, yeah, sorry, these are Kenner, which is kind of weird. Hasbro bought Kenner, so I don't know why they wouldn't just label this Hasbro, because that's who made G.I. Joe. Anyway, so yeah, not a whole lot of articulation. I'll go ahead and open these guys up. I'm going to do a 2-for-1 here because Sergeant Savage needs to fight Iron Claw because he is a bad dude. So it was the mid-90s, you know, you had all the kind of weird image of Malibu and all the pockets and big guns and muscles and crazy stuff. I think they were trying to cash in on that with the G.I. Joe Extreme and just did not go over well. These did not sell well. They're kind of weird. They kind of didn't really fit in anywhere. G.I. Joe collectors didn't like them. I mean, his head is tiny compared to the rest of his body. I mean, that's his shoulder. That's his head. That should be definitely a little bit larger. So kind of weird. I'll stand him up right there. He's got this launcher here, which is kind of similar to General Flag. I don't know if it's 2 pieces, 1 piece. From the 91, yeah, I think he came out in 91 and 92, General Flag. Alright, so we got Sergeant Savage here. He's got this launcher. Let's see how this works. It says that attach rubber band to launcher as shown and close catch by rotating it to the closed/ready position as indicated by the arrow. So that's not the most clear thing. But I just know how these work from Annihilator and from, is it Gears? No. What's his face? I don't know. And Sergeant Savage, the kind of Arctic Stormtrooper has one. And I actually don't have the ones for General Flag. I don't have his weapons. That's on my kind of need list. Effects. That's who I was thinking of. Effects. Gears came with here's a recolored barricade. That came with the big like robot thing. Okay, so there that is. This goes. Place rocket onto launching post when ready to fire. Open catch by rotating it to the open firing position as indicated by the arrow. Alright, so this goes on here. And then, are you ready for this? Okay, so not too bad. Not too bad. That rubber band actually is still intact after 22 years. So that's kind of interesting. So, alright, so we got that. Put that right here. We got him, Mr. Sergeant Savage. And kind of scoot that over so you can see. Alright, now we're going to open the Iron Claw with battle-activated assault rocket. Let's see. Iron Claw, ruling the terrible villains of Scar. Iron Claw ruthlessly attacks the G.I. Joe team with his battle-activated assault rocket. Sergeant Savage, on the other hand, heads up the rear battle lines, battering Scar forces with catapult launch destruction. So Iron Claw, his real name is Count von Ronny. Rainey? I don't know. He's the mastermind and leader of Scar forces, completely power-hungry and bad to the bone. Poses as Count von Ronny while secretly plotting military operations and evil invasions in his ultimate plan to rule the world. Interesting stuff there. So, Sergeant Savage, his real name is Robert S. Savage Jr. He's artillery and ammo specialist. He survived cryogenic freezing by enemies in World War II. Yeah, that's the thing, too. The Sergeant Savage line is all World War II based. He woke 50 years later as a military hero, totally into new firepower systems, has a serious thing for grenades, which obviously he's got, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them on his chest, so... So these guys are extreme. And they made a cartoon of this. There was I think a short-lived comic book series by Dark Horse. None of it was good. Let's see if we got a little bit of plastic crack here. Okay, so the one. Yeah, his head's kind of small too. Probably not as out of proportion as his. His looks a little bit better, but he's actually a pretty cool looking figure. I mean, he would look all right with, you know, maybe some Batman figures or kind of Toy Biz X-Men. He's got that little gold spiked shoulder plate, kind of a nod to the Headhunters. You know, he's got the little skull shoulder thing, so he's kind of all right. I kind of dig him. He's got this big honking thing right here. What do they call it? Battle activated assault rocket. So this is a serious weapon. And it's not really one to go in. There we go. So it says place launcher and figure's hands as shown. Load rocket into launcher. See, that's what I'm trying. Okay, so I see how his hands kind of cup there. It's kind of weird. Oh, whoops, little premature rocket firing. I guess his other hand's supposed to go on that, which is kind of difficult. There we go. All right, so yeah, he holds that kind of well. It says to fire, turn the figure's upper body in the direction of the arrow, so the inside of the launcher firing button presses against the figure. Where is the firing button? Oh, is that it right there? No, wait, is that it right there? Yes. Oh, okay. So the firing button's kind of hidden back there, and so I guess yeah, the idea is that okay. So this is kind of cool. I kind of like this feature. So he twists, and then the idea is that he's like, all right, Sergeant Savage, I'm gonna put it into your plans, and I'm gonna take over the world. Sergeant Savage says, no, you won't, Mr. What's his name? Scar? No. Iron Claw. Sorry. And so he's going to go. Of course, now it's not working. Why is it not working? All right. We're having some technical difficulties here. But, the idea is that his belt is kind of what. There we go. So let's try that again. Oh. Of course, it never does it when I want it to do it. So he's going to go pow. He's going to go pow. And then they're all dead because war is hell. He also has this sword here, which is kind of interesting. So you can go up and stab Sergeant Savage, you know, and there's just everybody's stabbing and shooting and missile launching and dying, and it's just completely awful. But he's pretty cool. I kind of like him. He does this little dance here. Just do a little dance, make it a little love, get down tonight. Sergeant Savage here, he doesn't really do anything except have a very small head. But yeah, kind of a couple cool figures. Oops. I kind of dig them. The rest of the line, I don't know. There's a few neat sculpts, and there's some that are really, really the opposite of neat. So thanks for watching. This was a twofer. I don't really do too many twofers, but this was the G.I. Joe Extreme Sergeant Savage and Iron Claw from Henner. You might as well call it Henner. Kenner/Hasbro, 1995. I don't think they said Yo Joe in this one, but you know what? I'm a G.I. Joe fan, and it's part of the G.I. Joe lore, so I'm going to say Yo Joe.